From Planned Parenthood to foreign policy questions, the top 10 Republican candidates in the race in 2016 taking center stage for some heated policy debates. But the care of our nation's veterans went almost untouched in Thursday's debate until the very end.
I think God has blessed us. He's blessed us with young men and women willing to risk their lives and sometimes die in uniform. When I'm president of the United States, we're going to have a VA that cares more about our veterans than about the bureaucrats who work at the VA.
So should veterans' questions be more center stage in this election? Joining us now is Fox News contributor, president and CEO of the National Center for Policy Analysis, and, of course, a veteran, Lieutenant Colonel Allen West. Colonel West, great to see you this morning. So you said you were distressed that these questions didn't come up until Marco Rubio raised them at the end of the debate.
Yeah, it was very disconcerting for me, Tucker, because it seemed as if the veterans issue was almost an afterthought. And when you think about if we are not as a nation able to care about those who are willing to give the last full measure of devotion, those who stand on freedom's ramparts, who return back to this nation where they've been willing to make that commitment, and we only relegated to a few minutes of a soundbite in this major debate, that is a sad indictment on our culture and what we believe is a priority issue. And I speak very clearly. My father was a disabled American veteran from World War II. He worked in the Veterans Administration Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia, and sadly, it was in that VA hospital where he lost his life. So this is a very important issue for me.
So what specifically would you like to see the Republican candidates and the Democratic candidates take up on veterans issues?
Well, I think most importantly, when we talked about this Choice Act, which President Obama signed into law, and now they want to try to defund the Choice Act. You know, it's very interesting to me that they don't want to defund Planned Parenthood, but they want to defund the Choice Act, enabling our veterans to be able to go to any medical center, to any clinic that is available to them. That, once again, shows you that something is awry with this administration and with this issue. And Marco Rubio did bring up a very important fact. Only one person has been fired from the Veterans Administration after this very heinous occurrence that we learned about veterans dying on waiting lists.
Nobody ever gets fired from the federal service, as you know. So there just aren't that many veterans running because a pretty small percentage of Americans now serve, and the greatest generation, of course, no longer in politics, really. On the Democratic side, Jim Webb, whatever you think of him, a legitimate war hero from the Vietnam War, is running. We're interviewing him tomorrow on the show. What do you make of Webb's candidacy?
Well, I think Jim Webb is probably running in the wrong party. If he was running in the Republican Party, he'd have more of a platform, more of a voice. He is a former Marine infantry officer, former Secretary of the Navy, senator from Virginia. And so I think that when you look at that type of resume, he does not fit with the liberal progressive mantra of today's Democrat Party. But we need to have more men and women who want to be commander-in-chief, who have been willing to raise their right hand and take that oath of office, but put their life on the line for it, because that helps you in making the critical decisions about our veterans and then also about our national security. As you just reported, we had a Special Forces troop lost his life in Afghanistan. So there's still combat operations going on over there.
Yeah, that's for sure. Something that people have largely forgotten. Lieutenant Colonel Allen West joining us this morning. Great to see you this morning. Thanks.